Nevertheless, Matt Nagy is coaching in this Super Bowl, so we might as well preview the game, right? Sure, a lot of you are going to be watching this weekend. And I have to say, although I'm rooting against the Chiefs, I find it hard for them to win this game. In all seriousness, the Chiefs really kind of shouldn't be here. They were losing to Cincinnati, and they were about to lose that game. If it wasn't for that penalty late, the shove out of bounds, they probably would have come up just a tad short, unless Patrick Mahomes threw a Hail Mary, had some sort of miracle to win the game and push themselves in. The Bengals dominated that game, and the Bengals, I think, overall, completeness-wise, are somewhat of a better team. In my opinion, I really think they're better. So the Chiefs kind of just scratched and clawed and barely got their way in, which is fine. They're in the Super Bowl. They earned it. They made it. But I don't trust them to beat this Eagles team with 18 Pro Bowlers. That's right, 18. The Eagles, between alternates and starters, have 18 Pro Bowlers. 18 guys who made the Pro Bowl, 18 guys who are elite. You put 22 on the field at a time, offense and defense. So only 4 of their starters on their team are not Pro Bowlers. Can you believe that? I mean, that's really stunning. Eagles are just that good. And KC had a good season. Pat Mahomes had a good year, of course. Not much on the running side. Pacheco, McKinnon, Hilaire came back as well off IR. He's going to be active for the Super Bowl, apparently. So Hilaire will be back. On the Eagles side, Miles Sanders just killed it, plus Jalen Hurts. The Eagles know to run the football. They could pass with Jalen Hurts. Had a career season despite even being hurt and missing time. And their defense is unbelievable. Their offensive line is best in the game. I mean, this Eagles team is just built to win. My opinion. So I'd be really surprised if the Chiefs come out. And by the way, Pat Mahomes, believe it or not, has not played well in the Super Bowl. So he's been in 2 of them. We know he won 1, lost 1. But the last time he played in the Super Bowl, we remember that game against Tom Brady. He was killed. I mean, he was really hurt and hit hard. A lot in that game. It was difficult for him. I can pull up his stats right here, at least, in the Super Bowl. I mean, 26 of 49, 0 touchdowns, 2 picks, a 52.3 passer rating. And in 2019, he 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. So for his career in the Super Bowl, Pat Mahomes has 2 touchdowns and 4 picks. And his passer rating is what, maybe 60? Pat Mahomes, believe it or not, cannot play well so far in the Super Bowl. It's really his only knock. I mean, there's only so much you could say about Pat Mahomes that's bad, but that's the one thing you could point to. Not that it's the end of the world, but when you're facing an elite defense like Philadelphia, and you faced an elite defense against Tampa a couple of years back, and you struggled. You faced the Niners, you struggled till the 4th quarter. What do you think is going to happen on Sunday? You think Pat Mahomes is going to walk in and just start throwing darts and 4 touchdowns, no picks, big game? I don't think so. I think he's going to struggle. And I think this Chiefs offense is going to struggle. 2 touchdowns, 4 picks. You don't have much of a running game, and you're bringing back a running back who has been hurt, has missed time. Hilaire just got activated off the IR yesterday, and he's coming back. Pacheco's still there. McKinnon's there. There are just tons of moving pieces, running-wise, for them. I know their offense was first in the NFL, but their defense was 16th, too, the Chiefs. Eagles were 3rd in offense, 8th in defense, top 10 both. Eagles are a well-rounded team, and in my opinion, they probably are statistically, and just as far as talent and on paper goes, the most talented and the best team in football. You can't argue with 18 out of your 22 players being selected to the Pro Bowl, either as alternates or starters. 18 out of 20. I've never even heard of that before. 18 out of 22 were selected. Talk about a complete team. I think the biggest question for the Eagles is just going to be Jalen Hurts. Will he perform on this big stage? Because this is really Jalen Hurts' breakout year. And remember, he was still hurt and he missed time. And Hurts last year, 16 touchdowns, 9 picks, 87 passer rating. That was the year where they went 9-7 or 10-7. They barely got in. They got bounced week 1 of the playoffs by the Bucs. And entering this year, if you remember, Jalen Hurts, all the questions were, is he even going to be the franchise guy? This was a prove-it year for Jalen Hurts. Eagles wanted to know, hey, what do we got here? And are you going to be the guy? Because if not, we got to draft somebody. That was being talked about. And Hurts proved everybody wrong this year. And I think no matter what happens on Sunday, it's a successful season for Hurts and for his future in Philadelphia and even his future in the NFL. And 15 games, 3,700 yards and 22 touchdowns, 6 picks, plus add on 760 rushing yards. He missed 2 games. He plays 2 more games. Would have gotten to 4,000 probably easily on the passing side, and maybe 800, 900 rushing yards, almost 1,000. Add on a couple of more touchdowns, maybe 1 or 2 more picks. He had great ball control, best interception percentage ever, 1.3%. Did a good job at holding on to the football and led his team when he started to a 14-1 record. He only lost 1 game as a starter this year. Eagles went 14-3. They lost both games that Hurts didn't play. And everybody's saying, well, the Eagles are so good it doesn't matter who's their quarterback. Then why'd they lose the 2 games he didn't play? Everybody's making that argument for the MVP, saying, I don't think Hurts should win it. I don't know whether or not he should, but I will say this. It's telling when your quarterback isn't there, you have a competent backup in Gardner Minshew, actually one of the best backups in football, and you don't win. Those are 2 games that you lose without Jalen Hurts. He's obviously valuable enough to the point where the Eagles need him to start. If Gardner Minshew was starting in this Super Bowl, Eagles would stand no chance, no matter what. You can tell me anything, they would not win. Jalen Hurts is their answer. But the big question is, will he show up and perform in this big of a game? Because I'll tell you what, if Patrick Mahomes has trouble showing up and playing in this big of a game, I don't know if I can trust Jalen Hurts either. The one thing Hurts has going for him is that this Chiefs defense is mid-level, almost mediocre. They're 16th in the NFL. So you're going up against a bend and sometimes break defense. And as far as Patrick Mahomes goes, he goes up against a great defense, and he's facing a great offense. Just logistically speaking, you would think Philadelphia has a slight advantage here. Now, again, I know, Kansas City has the experience. Patrick Mahomes has played in a couple of Super Bowls. A lot of these guys are ready for the big stage. They are. But the Eagles have the talent that Kansas City doesn't have. So then the question is, how do you balance it? And who's going to come out on top? That's why they play the game. But I firmly believe at this point that it will be Philadelphia winning. I think it's going to be close. It's not going to be a blowout. Going to be down to the wire. And if I had to make a score prediction, which I've been doing all year, so I guess I'll do it here, I'm going to say 38-31. Eagles win. So my final score is 38-31. Philadelphia comes out on top, and they win the Super Bowl in Nick Sirianni's 2nd year and in Jalen Hurts' 3rd year. And by the way, Bears fans watching this game, I encourage you to take a look closely at what Philadelphia has done. Their trajectory should be what the Bears do. You've heard this all season from me, from others on this program. My guests, same thing. If Philadelphia started off low, Jalen Hurts comes in for Carson Wentz on popular move, Doug Peterson gets fired. Sound similar to anybody? They bring in a new coach, all of a sudden they're 10-7, but they still get bounced, and Jalen Hurts isn't necessarily the answer. And this year in a prove-it year, 2nd-year head coach, 3rd-year QB, you're the damn Super Bowl. What about Justin Fields? 1st year, lame duck head coach, gets beat up, coach gets fired, new year, different coach comes in, new GM. Tanking, but improved performance to the point where we know Justin Fields to an extent is the guy. Now what happens next year? The Bears should be around 9-8, 10-7. They should be in the wild card, then get bounced. Then the year after that, 2024, maybe 2025. Why can't they contend for a Super Bowl is my thing. So Bears fans pay close attention to this game. I would. You could be looking into a mirror on Sunday. And I think that's very intriguing. I think there are so many similarities between the Bears situation today and what the Eagles were 2 and 1 year ago. And that's the exciting part. We talk about this every week, and I want to keep hammering it in because it's so important. The Bears have a lot of hope right now. There's a lot going for them. And this Eagles team, as you see it, could be the Bears in a couple of years if they play their cards right. Record cap space, top pick, good quarterback. Look what the Eagles have. 18 out of 22 players are in the Pro Bowl. Bears, hey, wake up and do the same thing. The Bears should be doing that then. The Bears should be signing strategically key players to make that happen. A couple of wide receivers, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, edge rushers, secondary help, maybe a running back. A lot of holes. But this Bears team could become this Eagles team in the matter of 1 or 2 off seasons, period, to the point where they could be in the Super Bowl in 2 or 3 years. Certainly possible, certainly on the table. That's the encouraging thing. That's the exciting part. So if you're going to watch the game with a Bears fan perspective in your head, that's what I would be looking for on Sunday. That's what I'd be trying to decipher. Hey, how is this team similar to the Bears? What could the Bears do? What could they glean on from Philadelphia today to get better and get to this point in a couple of years? That should be what you're looking for if you're a Bears fan. The game is the game, of course. Watch the game, but look for those things too. So I really think it's going to be Philadelphia on top, although I will say, if Kansas City wins, good for them, despite the Matt Nagy situation. But I think it's going to be Philadelphia. And I'm predicting, again, 38-31. Philadelphia wins. It's probably a higher score. Maybe it won't even be that high, but I made that prediction already. I'll stick with it. 38-31 the final. It will be Philadelphia raising that trophy and being very excited about what they have to come.